Comic-Con is finally here, and with that comes some Breaking Bat news. I'm K-Wing, and before we start, mash that like button for a Matt Reeves Batman trilogy starring a new Batman. If that tagline didn't get you, I don't know what else would. So due to time spent on my other channel, a podcast-style video is all I have for you guys today. I'm sorry about that, but my brother-in-law is coming, and I'm rushing around like a crazy person at the moment, trying to get my house in order, because he's going to be here Sunday, in 2 days! Anyway, so while it's hard to believe Ben Affleck could be stepping down as the Batman, and DC's rushing of the Nightwing movie now makes a lot of sense, to be honest. Personally, I think people, mainly my fellow journos, are taking this a bit too literally and really driving the internet batty. The reason for this? Ben Affleck is too old, and it means he can't be Batman anymore. I mean, look, the Justice Leaguers are in their 30s, right? And Ben Affleck will be 50 after Matt, releases his Batman 1, and the internet just implodes with speculation. Meanwhile, here you have poor Ben Affleck, who is having a nice flight, by the way, and he's going to Comic-Con tomorrow to talk about Justice League, where he's playing Batman. So this is Ben's mindset. I love going to Comic-Con to support my upcoming appearance as Batman, and what? So hence, sad Affleck will probably return. Because, honestly, I think these articles are just a dumb way to drum up traffic, but still, Ben listens to this stuff and gets worried. I mean, he quit being director because of all the pressure of the Cape and Cowl to star and direct it. That and people kept pestering him like crazy on every movie project about, what about Batman? What about Batman? What about Batman? So he kind of snapped. I might get hate for saying this, but honestly, Ben Affleck is the first comic book movie Batman, minus the killing. I feel he really redeemed his performance as Batman in the Suicide Squad too, and when I was sitting there in the theater, I felt like I was watching the BTS Batman come to life. I mean, it was amazing. He didn't really talk, he had cool body language as Batman, he did amazing things as Batman. It was just awesome. So I really wanted to see Ben expand on that character, and I think he is the perfect casting of Batman. He was born to play the character. So I'm really not going to be focusing on his personal life in this video. I know Ben has a lot of stuff he's going through, and I really feel it has no place in, talking about his time as Batman. We all have struggles in our lives. It's what makes us human. And Ben, believe it or not, is, a person, not just an actor. For me, Ben is my favorite movie Batman, or at least I could see him fighting in a death battle against Keaton in my mind. Oh, I see Keaton with that devilish grin. Ooh, that'd be a good fight. Somebody make that. I want to see that. Now, tomorrow, I'm sure we're going to learn more about Matt Reeves' Batman trilogy, since, Matt Reeves and Ben are going to be there. It makes sense to say something about it. I mean, we need something. However, what got the internet, crazy is, while he said Ben Affleck is playing Batman in The Batman, he didn't say Ben Affleck is playing Batman in my trilogy, which freaked everybody out. Hence, here we are. Now, if we're going to replace Ben as Batman, we need to do it tastefully, DC, and not just, Omega Beam him when Darkseid appears and dead Batman. That would be stupid, which I have a bad feeling about this. Now, there are a lot of characters who have played Batman in the comics over the years, but there's only been a couple successful characters, Dick Grayson and Jean-Paul Valley. And Jean was insane, so he's out. Enter Dick Grayson, which seems to be kind of what Jeff Johns, Chris McKay, and Warner Brothers wants. Again, due to the success of pre-Flashpoint DC Comics, you just can't beat the Damian Wayne Grayson duo. It works, and it works so well. Happy Batman and Grumpy Robin equal money. So exiting out Ben needs to be handled with care and respect to the actor and his time as the Caped Crusader. So, what I don't want to see, to have what happened to Keaton and Val Kilmer, where one day it's Keaton, the next day, haha, Val Kilmer! No, never again, that was stupid. Actually, with DC watching this though, especially that one DC TV All Access host, now I'm worried. They tend to lurk. So I've come up with some cool ideas in 5 minutes when I was eating cereal today. You're welcome, Warner. Probably not going to happen this way, but there are 3 ways you could replace Ben Affleck in a trilogy or Justice League series with a new Batman, and here we go. The most popular choice that everyone is thinking is not Batman Beyond. It doesn't work, I'm sorry. We'll address it at the end of this video, but don't interrupt my thinking process. The first thing would be Flashpoint, which would be established at the end of the Flash movie. I know it's dumb, but simple fixes is what DC does. Bruce, of course, is dead in this universe, and Thomas Wayne is Batman, with the actor who played Ben's dad in the BVS flashbacks, which, FYI, the actor of Thomas Wayne expressed playing Batman Thomas Wayne in a Flashpoint DC Zack Snyder directed film. Coincidence? So, as you know, Flashpoint, which I've gone over in tons of videos, go watch those. I'll probably remember to put links somewhere. Anyway, Flashpoint gets erased, and Thomas Wayne leaves a legacy to his son in a written letter, which spurs on Batman to be a better person in the New 52. And it was actually a pretty amazing moment. You saw Batman have a tear come out of his eye. So, what they could do with this, after introducing Barry talking with Batman as normal, it would be a new actor as Bruce Wayne and Batman. Boom! Band-Aid fixed. Ben Affleck was kind of out at the very beginning of Flashpoint Paradox, just like how they probably should have exited out Kevin Conroy in the Flashpoint Paradox movie with the actor that was going to play Batman in the New 52 films. Since Kevin didn't come back to reprise his role, you could look at it that way. And again, it's the easy button, and it just feels kind of sloppy. Now, the reason why I wouldn't want this to happen is because BVS was technically already a very Flashpoint-type movie. It featured a very gritty vibe to it, and it felt very warlike. And since Flashpoint is all about war and a whole planet being erased, I think that's too grim of a direction for where DC is now, especially after Wonder Woman was a very hopeful and bright movie, and Justice League is being reshot to be basically like the Avengers. I'm sorry, I said it. Whedon's involved. You know he's doing reshoots. It's not going to be what Zack Snyder did. It's going to be different. I'm sorry. So, if you liked Avengers, you'll probably love Justice League. Hopefully it's not Age of Ultron. That would be bad. So there you go. That's how Batman would be rebooted in a Flashpoint movie that would feature both Batman and the Flash. So people would get more of Ezra Miller. Maybe they'd be happy. And you get a new Batman actor who would still basically be Ben Affleck, but a younger version. It might be confusing to you, but the cast would be like, oh, it's still... No, it doesn't work. The second idea, which, again, is not all that amazing, is an Injustice storyline. As shown in Bruce's future vision, where Superman is leading an army of evil for Darkseid and enslaving the Earth and wiped out all its heroes, according to the Flash, Batman and Flash could find a way to call for aid from another Earth, which a different actor as Bruce Wayne playing a younger Batman could work. After stopping Superman and returning to his own world, the movie would then focus on this new Batman, who would have all the same actors as his Justice League in his Earth. I know it's stupid, but it's another easy fix. But based on the popularity of the Injustice brand, it could very well work. But once again, Superman would be the villain, which many fans don't really like that about the Injustice series. Neither do I, really. Oh, this is hard to replace Batman in a team-up movie. It really is. Unless you want to do Flashpoint Paradox, it would be difficult to do that. But both of these movies basically change Batman's age. You had a younger Batman in Injustice working with an older Batman from Injustice, though it was both Kevin Conroy playing younger Batman and older grumpy Batman. So in this instance, you would have Ben Affleck as grumpy older Batman and new actor as new Batman. I don't even know who they would get, to be honest. I don't know. As for Reeves' first Batman movie trilogy, I put a lot more thought into this, so I hope you guys will enjoy it. But in order for it to work, a Nightwing movie would need to be established first. Other than the quick name drop that's going to be happening in Justice League, according to rumors, where Gordon and Batman are going to kind of like go into that whole, nice to see you working well with others again, and Robin will get mentioned, or at least Dick Grayson. So Grayson's establishing movie, not just a name drop, would take place away from Gotham in Bloodhaven, and would feature an estranged relationship between Batman and the former Robin. The foes would be the Court of Owls, and the film would tease the puppet masters behind the strings, the League of Assassins, at the end. Batman, aka Ben Affleck, would make small, scattered cameos as flashbacks, like in the Suicide Squad, which worked. This would kind of lead into Reeves' trilogy as well. With Nightwing heading back to Gotham, maybe the whole death of Superman and Earth invasion made him want to patch things up with his adopted dad. Who knows? But Dick Grayson is an emotional sap like that, so it could work. Now for the Reeves trilogy, who, by the way, is actually a fan of the Grant Morrison run of Dick and Damian as Robin and Batman. The film name, The Batman, also got me thinking that this actually could be a placeholder now, where the idea of the Batman could be anyone. So that's the basis for my series that you're going to hear about right now. If you like this story, like and share this video because it helps a lot. In this universe, Batman has been active for 20 plus years, dealt with a super being from Metropolis, fended off aliens, and established a Justice League. But time is something that he can't beat. While there's a younger group of heroes, this Batman is getting older, slower. His methods are getting sloppy. Alfred reminds him of things he's given up in his life, people he's pushed out, people he's lost, tough choices he had to make as both Batman and Bruce Wayne, trying to deal with this duality of two masks. All this stuff going on in his head is tiring out the Caped Crusader, and the Justice League exploits aren't really helping. With all this stuff going on in the background, Batman couldn't prepare for what happens next. An old flame reappears in his life and drops a huge bomb on him. He's a father. Plus, he learns a dangerous enemy prepares for war and plans on crippling the Bat of Gotham. The title of this film is simply Son of Batman. Not bad, right? Woo! Got you thinking about that, didn't I? I'm so good at this. So right now, since DC Comics and Warner Brothers is pushing for more of Dick Grayson in the cinematic universe, and have X'd out Affleck's Arkham/Red Hood idea, which probably is a good idea since they're distancing themselves from anything too gritty, thanks to Matt Reeves, who hated the script with Red Hood, which I don't get because Jeff Johns co-wrote. That's not right, Matt. That's not. A movie focusing on Batman's sons could be very interesting. See what I did there? So it would have a similar focus to the New 52 animated film, but better. It would be handled much better. The focus would be more on the estranged relationship of Batman and Dick Grayson. Not so much flashbacks, because we saw some of that in the Nightwing standalone film. But at the same time, it would also bring in Damian Wayne and Talia into the fold as well. Now, several actresses have actually expressed interest in the Talia character, and Ben, too, has talked about the Al Ghul clan, saying it would make a great movie. Now, in the film, Batman has this killer kid literally dropped in his lap and has to deal with all of Damian's issues. At the same time, the old enemy is coming back to Gotham, is now the leader of the League of Shadows, and plans on destroying Batman and anybody associated with him. Now, my version, you would actually swap out Deathstroke and Ra's for Bane. The Demon's Head would be mentioned and then killed by Bane, who wages a war on Gotham. Now, Batman and Nightwing are dealing with a massive Arkham breakout like in the Nightfall comics, and also trying to keep Bruce's son Damian in line at the same time, which actually makes Batman think about, the whole killing is wrong when Damian does what he did in his first introduction as Robin. Then when Batman is at his weakest, Bane breaks him near the end of the film. A new Batman is needed, but not revealed, and cliffhanger, Nolan style. So why Bane, right, after the Nolan series? Well, this needs to be done, and it needs to be done with the Chuck Dixon Bane as the mold, not the Nolan Bane. No more of this. Hello, Batman. I'm a meme forever for Bane. So if DC can reboot the Joker somewhat successfully, the man who broke the bat can be done better. Plus, he needs to be the guy in charge this time, not the old bait and switch like The Dark Knight Rises. I still hate that reveal. I think you could play up the whole Talia and Bane relationship too. Also, the reason she seeks Batman's aid is because she's afraid for her and Damian's life. Not many people scare the daughter of the demon, mind you. Only Bane and maybe two others. Now, my version of Bane is the opposite of Batman in every alliteration. He's a cunning mastermind and a deadly combatant, and he is a threat. Plus, he's on Venom, people, which in this universe would work with people who can fly and men who wear green rings and can do incredible things, and Wonder Women, right? The second movie would be loosely based on the Jude Winnick and Morrison run called Batman Reborn, where Dick Grayson takes over the mantle of Batman. The interaction between Grayson and Alfred in the comics had to do with a world where Batman is thought to be dead. But this world, Batman would be broken and out of action, possibly even in a coma, because Bane is really going to mess him up. It would be an amazing cinematic fight where Batman loses and Dick witnesses it. It would be kind of like a squire carrying the broken knight back to the castle. I mean, that would be such a compelling scene, you know? Anyway, Alfred would be nudging, like Grayson, kind of like a dad into Batman's shoes. A bad way to handle this, again, would be the Darkseid thing. Why am I still talking about this? I don't want Darkseid to kill Batman like that. It is just wrong. Get that out of my head right now. I don't want them to do this. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. But hey, they might have teased Ben's death already, haven't they? Because of the visions. Oh, please don't do this. Don't do it for the children. Think of the children. To see Batman die on screen, it's like Optimus in the 80s. It just, and it didn't work well for Superman, right? At least, I think it didn't. It upset people. So my vision, Bruce was broken by Bane, and he's alive, but KO'd. Like, you could really play up Ben Affleck's dramatic role when he realizes he can't walk, because Ben is good at drama. He really is. Action and drama, you know? When he eventually comes to grip that he can't walk anymore, and even in this crazy world of science where Superman can fly and come back from the dead, somehow I think DC could find a way to cripple Batman. At least, I hope they could. Anyway, with Batman essentially gone and Gotham, like, now in control of Bane, a new hero is needed. At first, Nightwing, Pass the Cowl style, thinks he can save Gotham as Nightwing. But in this world, nobody knows who Nightwing is. They don't know he's the former Robin. People know the significance and importance of Batman in Gotham and the world, and that's something that Dick is going to have to come to the realization himself. Now, there are going to be 3 characters in this film that will help push Dick forward. Batgirl, who's already been established in her movie by Joss Whedon at this point, Damian, and Alfred. Now, in the Morrison run, it was these 3 characters that actually helped Dick during his time as Batman anyway. In fact, these 3 characters are pillar for his journey as Batman, and they need to be in it. And it also make Batgirl and Dick Grayson fans happy, so there you go. So okay, with all this stuff going on, the movie would focus on Dick replacing Batman. Like, most of the movie would deal with that. It wouldn't just be, okay, the continuation, Nightwing steps up and beats Bane. No, it doesn't work like that. It's going to take some time. You know, Bane just kind of doesn't really leave Gotham, but he becomes like this big crime lord. And Bane had some great ideas as a villain, how to run Gotham. Like, he doesn't like drugs, and he doesn't like all this other stuff. He just wants Batman gone because Batman, like, at least in the New 52, they explained it in a pretty interesting way that the idea of Batman, Bane just hates. So, I mean, they could really play up that dynamic between Bruce and Bane. Damian is a little bit more manageable now in this film and believes he can become Batman. So, like the comics, it would feature fun, tongue-and-cheek humor between the 2 brothers. Dumb little brother and older, wiser brother moments, which was so awesome in the Morrison books. In the film, Grayson would see that the 20-year-old Bat legacy is not a curse, and Gotham and the world needs a Batman. Bane is out of control and Gotham is falling apart. Bruce and his allies are doing all they can, but he really hasn't informed the Justice League of this because, well, he wants to do everything on his own because he's Batman. Also, while it would be a difficult fight based on all the requirements that Chris McKay has for Nightwing with the acrobatics and the martial arts and all the other stuff, the defeat of Bane could actually happen because Azrael was able to do it. So Dick finds a way of breaking Bane, but he doesn't kill him. And this sets an important example for Damian, who, unlike Bruce recently, Nightwing doesn't kill, hence why the rift between the two formed to begin with after the death of Jason Todd. This again would be a great thing for Damian to witness and to kind of mold him to be a better Robin. At the film's conclusion, Bruce and Dick would patch up their father-son relationship. He would be proud of his son taking over Batman and then leaves Gotham. And it's a great exit and passing the torch thing for Ben Affleck to the new Batman. So that would be amazing, but it would never happen. But the audiences would so get behind it because they eat this sappy stuff up. They just do. For the third movie, I have way too many ideas going around in my head at the moment to come up with a confirmed plot. There is a lot of stuff you could do. You could do things with Jeremiah Arkham becoming the new Black Mask, because Arkham, remember, is in shambles now because of everything that happened. So Dick would have tons of bad guys to fight, as well as you could introduce new villains from the New 52 or the Grant Morrison run. So there's a lot of stuff that DC could play with. But, you know, I really, really, really like this idea of Grayson's potential and the history that he has with all these different Bat characters, unlike just quickly introducing Jean-Paul Valley in one movie and not having that history of a former Robin becoming Batman. I really don't believe Azrael works at all. I don't think he worked in the comics. That's why as soon as he was beaten, Batman didn't really come back. He had Dick Grayson take over in Prodigal. So, I mean, you know, Dick as Batman, he works. It's what he was kind of like the squire of Batman to be, you know? So I think it could play out very well in the cinematic universe, and I think people would get behind it. Plus, like I said, with him working with Batgirl, or at least her being in the movie and having that past relationship, as Robin, he met the Birds of Prey. He met the Gotham City Sirens. He met the Gotham Rogues. So everybody has had this type of like familiarity with this character, so it would actually work. It wouldn't be a stranger, in a sense. Even though it'd be a new actor as Batman, it wouldn't be a stranger to the world. You know what I mean? So while I love Ben Affleck as Batman, that's how I would replace him. I'm sorry, Ben. I'm so sorry. It would give you respect, and it would be a great passing of the torch. Unless Ben wants Batman to die in, like, a Harrison Ford way, which would be terrible. But remember, it didn't do wonders for Superman's movie reputation or justice to his fans. Keep that in mind, the fans who love you. I know a lot of you are probably like, why in the world didn't you talk about the Batman Beyond Terry thing? At this time, look, people, it doesn't work. The Batman Beyond thing is set so far into the future where Bruce is like 80 years old. You know? I don't think that it works in this DC-connected universe. Personally, I always wanted DC to do an Elseworlds movie. In fact, I think they need to do that. And I would want the Batman Beyond movie to connect with the 1989 film and have the movie take place in 2059 with an aging Keaton playing Batman again. Though he doesn't have to be in the suit, which Keaton was actually claustrophobic of. In the movie, he discovers Terry, and I've always envisioned this type of movie as its own standalone universe that could technically be connected with a crisis-type situation later on, if they needed it to be. But anyway, guys and gals, that does it for me. I gotta run. I have a lot of stuff to do, but thank you for listening to this. I hope you guys enjoyed the little story, and it got your mind swimming with ideas. Feel free to share your stuff in the comment section below. If you see this anywhere on YouTube, like and share it. It really helps a lot. Send it to Reddit, send it to wherever there's Batman stuff, because I think a lot of fans would enjoy this take on the character. So have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much. I look forward to reading your comments and your thoughts and ideas. I really hope this video gets 1,000 likes because it tells me that you enjoyed this type of video. Well, anyway, thank you so much for listening. Later, Gothamites. Have a great day.